You might be wondering why I'm sat on the toilet. Today's job, I've got a consumer unit to replace, and it's right here. So welcome to my electrical wonderland. In here, we currently have a single phase consumer unit, and the idea of today is to convert from a single phase consumer unit to this three-phase bad boy beside me here. So there is a problem. We have a three-phase head, but only one single phase is connected. It's the DNO property, so we can't touch this. Just the same with the electricity meter is owned by the electricity company. So how are we gonna go from single phase to three phase? In this video, I'll show you all the steps, start to finish. So make sure you watch to the end. Whew, so I'll tell you what, if you want three phase, don't call me. So why does my customer want to go from a single phase supply, which is perfectly good, to a three phase supply? The answer is right beside me, and that's because he wants to upgrade his EV charger, which is single phase, to a three phase unit. That way he can take advantage of the rapid charging of the triple supply that he'll now have in his property. I'm no good with this scripted business. Let's get on with some of the vloggy good stuff.
In addition to rapid EV charging, this setup will enable our client to add a battery storage system in future, which is one of their requirements. Single phase can all do this. It's just three phase enables our client to have more power available for charging and discharging, and also import and export. Bigger volumes means faster and bigger savings when used correctly.
Power's going off. As long as you get the okay from the customer first, that's all that matters. Oh, look at this, look at this. This, beautiful. What I mean is, we've got cables coming down. There's a little bit of slack on them, which is great. So all our top end cables are gonna come in here. Hopefully there's enough length on them to go into the new consumer unit. Plenty of length on these cables here. And what I like about this is that they're all uniformed the same. You can see that this was all rewired fairly recently within the last 20 years, which is great. We're gonna label all of our cables. The last thing we wanna do is remove all of these cables and then be unsure what they were doing. That is an absolute nightmare of a situation, so we need to avoid. Quite simply, I'll go one nick for circuit 1. Number 2's already been removed. We've got circuit 3, so 3 nicks there. 2, 3, 4. There's 2 cables in there, so I put 4 on each of them because they go on the same breaker. It goes up to about 15 ways in here, so I'm not going to put 15 notches on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my second approach, line 2. And what I'll do is I'll put a 1 on there, and then I'll put a 2 on there. You need to have some kind of code when you're doing this. You can do whatever you want with this, but this is my little code that I like to do. If it makes sense to you, that's all that matters.
Ready?
Okay, I got plenty.
Sweet. Like a dream. Let's see if he's got too excited too quick. You got enough?
Yeah, plenty there to do that.
Sweet.
So here, I want to remove all of these end line cables from this consumer unit. Quite simply, I got them marked up. And what I'm gonna do is cut them like so. For speed and ease, I do it like this. I don't want to be unscrewing every single one of these terminals, but there is another reason. Can you figure it out? The main earths are massive and it's just easier to take them out rather than cutting through these ones. I always say, don't use your volt stick for anything that your life depends on. So, good practice here to make sure I do my checks with a proper piece of test equipment. Just for a moment, let's put the power back on there. 230 volts, brilliant. Okay, so now clunk off, there we go, 0 volts. Oh dear, cable's in the way. That screw's hiding right in the back. Right, okay, here we go. So that one coming off. You know, I cut off these cables here rather than undoing the terminals. 2 things. 1, what's the point in undoing the terminals when you only are going to have to snip the ends to renew the ends anyway when you put the new board on? Point number 1. Point number 2 is the fact that now I've done this. Look at this, for example, circuit number 4 here, because there's 4 dashes there. I can see that there's 2 cables on that terminal. And so I can see that the next one has got 1 cable in it, the next one's got 2. So that when I'm looking for my new cables, I know if there were 1 or 2 cables in on that breaker. Oh man, come on. This is a little bit tedious, I have to say. My next thought is the length on these cables here. Hopefully they'll be long enough that I don't need to extend them. The less connections we have to add to the circuits, the better. But if we have to, we have to. We'll see what we've got. Oh, these are good. Look at that, nice length there. And a bit of slack. Hello, DNO? Yeah, it's Leon from Rygo Electrical. Yeah, Yeah, if you could come in about half an hour's time, that would be great. Actually, no, if you could come now, that'd be even better. Yeah, brilliant. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Knockout has been taken out successfully, but look at this. What's this all about? I've got a lip right here. The whole point of the knockout is to make my life easy so I don't have to drill. But it looks like I'm gonna have to drill it anyway. Oh. Okay, right, so what we've got here, this is so that it goes on here like this, and see it's got a lovely curved off edge here. This is so that if you are going to be mounting this, say on a metal trunking, if you've got a big metal trunking with all your cables going through, they can then go straight up into the consume unit, because this is the bottom edge of it. So that is a nice touch. I just need the one entry at the bottom like this, hence the reason I'll now be using just the one plate. Sorry to the guys at Fusebox, I thought you were stupid for a moment. It was in fact me, being the stupid one. So now I've got my top entry cables and the bottom entry cables sorted, ready. We're ready to get this bad boy on the wall now. It's really important how your cables enter the consume unit basically for the reason that you don't want them getting skagged. So by having these bush and lock rings in here, it just means that all your cables can come in nicely with no sharp edges. Beautiful work by the DNO. So you might be wondering why the board is so big, and that's basically because it has triple the amount of circuits in there, because we now have 3 phases instead of 1. A typical household will have a single phase supply coming in, and if you're lucky enough, you may have a 3-phase supply coming in, which could be taken advantage of like we are in this situation. So here, we've got circuits 1 to 3, like so. With a 3-phase supply, that actually means that's one single circuit there. 3 phases are taken up because there's 3 lines coming in to power whatever circuit there is. Something to remember here is that we have single phase circuits existing here already. Things like your lighting, your sockets, your cooker, they all go on single phases. They will go on phase number 1, 2, 3, 4, however many are needed. And then when you get to the 3-phase part, that's when you then add in your 3-phase breaker, which, oh, there it is. So your 3-phase breaker looks like this. Like that, so it takes up, that's one circuit, like so, as opposed to a single phase circuit, which is your typical cooker and sockets and things like that, which sit on like this. So you can see here, it only takes up one of the ways instead of 3. With the consume unit we've got here, we've got about 14, 15 single ways being taken up at the moment. So that will fill the board up to around about here. So all of that, but then you're gonna have all of this free and open. But something to remember is that when you start adding 3-phase circuits in the future, say for air source heat pumps, solar, battery storage, then something to remember is that these ways are going to get filled up very quickly. Sorry it's a bit samey in terms of where we're filming from, but we're a little bit limited on locations. This is a main part of the struggle, is just getting all the prep done, getting everything in position ready. This does take up a lot of time to do this. Can take hours on certain jobs, but it's all worth it because it's all in the prep. If you prepare things nicely, then it will make the actual connection process when we're actually getting things finalized, make that part a lot more of a breeze for us. Because I have all my wires labeled, I can see what cables go with what. 4 notches on that one, 4 on that one, brilliant, okay. To make my life easier, I'm gonna tape them together so I know they're a pair. Note to self, probably better to take them together as you're taking it off, rather than when you're trying to put it back together. Special delivery. Thank you, sir. Right now, my poor cameraman Eli, behind the camera right now, he's got a bad back. He's already had a long day. And I'm putting him in environments like this with me. I'm bringing him down to my electrician level. Oh, first screws in, good. Whew, that takes the weight off my feet. Look at that. As you can see here, these cables, they've got a live, neutral and earth. So here's all our lives down the side here. Quite a few of them will be long enough to get to this position here. But unfortunately, the neutrals need to get down to here. And as you can see, not long enough to get from there to there. So I'm gonna have to put an extension bit of cable on every single one of these, which is fine, but it adds to the job, and it also adds to how neat it's going to look at the end. It's not an excuse, but it's true. So I've got to do it for the neutrals. I need to extend all the earths as well. It's a bit of a shame really, but it's how it is.
The DNA have been.
They've been in force. Yes, they have.
This new system is to enable all three phases to be used in the property. However, currently they only have one phase connected, so I must set the system up for its current single phase use, but also have it set up ready so once I'm gone and the energy provider visits after us to do their bit, it's set up ready for them to reconfigure their mains to a three-phase supply. So with our combined effort, the whole house will run splits across three phases.
I'm at the point now where I'm now taking my single phase that I have here and now linking it to the other phases so that this single phase will power all three phases temporarily, so that all these single phase circuits can be powered up in the meantime, so that when the DNO and the electricity company come along to do their bits, then all they have to do is simply take out the links and then put their phases 1, 2 and 3 into these connectors. Top tip here guys, when you're doing these connections like this, you want to make sure that both screws are clamping up onto this cable here. So what I do is I open up the first screw, but then the second one, if I just pull this back up a bit, the second one I make sure that it's closed up like this, so that when I'm going like that, I can feel that it's hitting on that second screw. So now I know it's on the side of it, and I know that as I open up this screw, and then suddenly it drops. If I put a bit of pressure pushing down on the cable, come on, there we go, and then it falls like that. I now know that that cable must have fallen down and pushed down and is now underneath the actual screw, so that when I tighten up here, I know I've definitely got that second screw biting, and now I can do it the first one with confidence, knowing that I've got two screws biting up on that conductor. So we got a lot to do, and I've been doing a lot of chatting, so I'm going to crack on and get this all connected up. We're going to film this on a nice super fast camera, and I'll catch you at the other end of this. So I've just taken a little break from the cupboard where I've been working. I wanted to show you this lovely EV charger. This is a single phase and three phase Zappi. That's right, there's one product will do both functionalities because it has all the gubbins inside of it to be able to do one or the other, which works perfectly in our scenario. Because we're converting this property from a single phase to a three phase, it means that this unit will simply slide over from one to the other without having to actually change the unit, which is fantastic. So in the meantime, it's going to be being used as a single phase whilst we've got our single phase supply coming into the property. But then when the DNO and the electricity companies come in and it gets converted over to three phase, this unit is already good to go. If you want to know what us electricians get up to in our spare time, it's this. We don't have spare time. This is the problem. So we are getting there with the connections on this consumer unit. There are some other reasons why you might want to look at having a three-phase unit, if you can. Not only can you take advantage of having an EV charger that has triple the amount of power to charge the car, but you can also use it for renewable reasons such as solar panels and battery storage. In particular, the battery storage, because what you can actually do is you can have connected a battery stack which you can use as a grid import-export device, basically as a grid trading device. It works as, with the AI integration built into it, you can actually charge your batteries on cheap rates of electricity and then discharge them when it's most expensive. So you basically buy in for cheap, but then you sell it back to the grid for more, so you make a profit on everything that you do.
Liam, would you say electricians are tidy?
Well, relatively, kind of. No. So something I need to mention here as well is that I haven't just been extending circuits and then wiring this up. What we've actually done in between all this is that I got Ben to do the testing. So he's been doing continuity testing for the sockets to make sure that there's no open circuits. He's done the insulation resistance readings to make sure there's no dead shorts on any of the wiring. We're going to start getting these livened up shortly one by one, but before we do that, we're going to do our R1, R2 dead tests. That's to prove that there's earth continuity for each circuit. So methodically, we're working our way through it. So it's not just a case of putting a load of cables in. We're actually trying to do the testing and adding of the cables and everything in our own majestic, magical way. I haven't really needed to use these as of yet. Today is the day. Today is definitely the day. I love this. So if you need to do on our R1 and R2 Typically, you have to disconnect the live out of here after we've already put it in, which obviously you would normally do that before you put the cable in, but it's not always logical to do that in this case. So what this lead enables me to do is that leave that live connected, and it's got a magnetic tip on it, and it's simply as I put it in here, and then connects like that, and then I then connect that to the earth bar here. So on that cooker circuit, I've now connected the live directly to the earth, so that Big Ben at the other end is now going to put his meter across the cooker connection in the kitchen, and he's basically reading for a continuous loop of the circuit. So then that proves that the earth path is continuous, which means that the cooker is safe.
Throughout this installation, we don't just reconnect existing wires from old to new equipment. We also safety check every circuit that we reconnect and energize.
It's making me sad. I'm getting sad with all these cables come from different directions, going up, down. It's impossible to get them all dressed in nice and neatly when you're trying to make the best of your situation when cables are coming from everywhere and they're all different lengths. As long as it's safe, as long as we've got nice tight connections and there's all fused correctly, electrical safety is above everything. I love these. These are the blanks that I'm putting in here, and they're DIN rail blanks, so they clip in onto the actual... Oh, come on, don't show me up on camera. There we go. They clip in nicely like that, protecting you from the live buzz bar going up here. What used to happen is the blanks used to sit in, clipping on the actual cover like this. But the problem is they used to pop out and things used to happen to them. It was a nightmare. So they've come up with this handy way of making them so that they all sit in on the actual buzz bar itself. Let me just double check all the connections. Live neutral, all the way down. We've got all of our earths connected. We've got circuits here, 1 to 10. Circuit 17 and 18 there. Circuit 7 and 18 in there for the earths. Good. We've got 29 and 30 there. We've got 29 and 30 there. And we've got 31 there as well. We've got the main earth connected to the main earth terminal. Check the mains connections. Neutral's in on the neutral. L1, L2, L3. Live's coming in. Connect to the first phase, to the second, to the third. Even though currently it's technically all the same. We are complete. Are we ready? I want to say fire in the hole, but I feel like I'm jinxing us. Fire in the hole! God, imagine if it went bang then. Oh, beautiful. Okay, that's on. I'm not going to screw it back yet because I want to check the connections are torqued up in just a moment. I'm actually going to choose to disconnect the earth from here on this occasion. What I'm doing now, I'm just checking that I have an earth path coming into the building. Just because there's an earth block there, it's a PME system, protective multiple earth, also known as TNCS. What I'm doing here, I'm getting my earth crock clip there, put on straight onto there like this, and then I'm going to get myself a reading to prove that there's a path of safety coming into the property. Oh, wonderful. 0.16 on phase 1. Not happy, and that's how I like that. I really like that. That's a really cool feature. I like that. It lets me know acoustically that something's not right, which saves a lot of messing around. I don't have to look at the meter. It automatically tells me if something's right or not. 0.18 on that phase. Let's turn that one back off. Let's do the third phase now. I'm doing this, but they're all connected together as the same phase anyway. But I'm just checking that all 3 lines are live and working, coming in. 0.17, brilliant.
Every termination in this setup gets checked multiple times. On this final time, we use tools that have a set amount of torque tightness. All of the switchgear we have installed has a set rating of how tight these connections need to be. With the use of our specialist equipment, we do a final check on every connection so that they are all set to the correct tightness to ensure electrical safety.
Ta-da! So here we have it. Here is our 3-phase consumer unit. So currently as it is still a single phase consumer unit. That's because we got it set up here ready for 3-phase, but here we've cross-linked it because we've only got a single phase coming into the property at the moment. So when the DNO and the electricity company come in to alter their bits here, what's great about it is that they'll just simply add on their 1, 2 and 3 phases to those blocks here, which then automatically turns this into a 3-phase consumer unit. The great thing is that the DNO and the electricity companies will not touch anything to do with the domestic side, the consumer side of this installation. So We've taken care of all of that so that when this cover goes onto this consumer unit, they do not need to go into this consumer unit because they won't for a start. So what they'll do is just link their supplies into here, which makes it 3-phase. Voila.
Thank you so much for watching. I've put links in the description to all the equipment used throughout this video. Also, we have a sister channel which we put some fantastic content out on. I would love for you to give this a like and subscribe if you really enjoyed it, because it helps us put out more content in the future. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. See you soon.